Okay. All right. Welcome, welcome everyone. Good evening, and I trust you had a great day. Trust your day is still going well. I welcome everyone watching me from wherever you are to our Facebook Live event, Sentinel Online Business Summit 6.0. Theme: Empowering Women in Real Estate. So I want to welcome you all once again. I am honored to be your host. My name is Chukwuka Vivian. I am a sales consultant in Sentinel Resources and Capital Investment Limited. So before I bring up my guest speakers, I want to quickly tell you about my company. Sentinel Resources and Capital Investment Limited. It's a real estate and capital investment company and headquartered here in Lagos. We also have our branch in Anambra State, Onitsha, Mandela's building precisely, Oka Road. So, Sentinel Resources and Capital Investment Limited, we are the owner of DOC Gardens, destination of choice gardens worldwide. And our vision in business is to, of course, you know, put smiles on the faces of our customers through profitable real estate and capital investments. And again, our real estate brand is Destination of Choice, which is the acronym for GOC. So we have our estates spanning across, we have 22 locations in six major states in Nigeria. And right now, we acquire our landed properties in locations that are very affordable with good access road, good road networks, and it is also very affordable, like I said. So wherever you are, no matter your income, no matter your background, you of course you should be able to afford estate locations. So on that, I would like to invite our guest speakers. Tonight we are having two wonderful ladies joining us on this session. So first, I have with me here, and I am delighted. It's a pleasure indeed to welcome Mrs. Bosede Olushola Obasa. Mrs. Bosede Olushola Obasa, the CEO of Royal for the first Royal Character and Values Limited, headquartered here in Lagos as well. So permit me to read her profile for our audience to at least know the person that we are talking about here. So Bosede Olushola Obasa is the founder and chief executive officer of First Royal Character and Values Limited, RCV, a social capital and asset building company headquartered here in Lagos, Nigeria. RCV is a training and consulting firm providing professional services to individuals and institutional clients with the objective of building strong brand trust. In almost 1 decade, RCV has provided business and life solutions to hundreds of clients using client specific and homegrown intervention models. Though Bossede started out in journalism with 14 brilliant years track record at Punch newspapers, she left in 2014 to start RCV, an inspired idea. 1 year after, she has a total of 24 years of working experience to date. Wow, that's a lot. Bossede is a talk queen on an an on-air personality and producer of Mind Your Character with Bosede Olushola Obasa. She is an author of 6 published books, a social media thought influencer, an ardent believer in the Nigeria dream. Bosede is an embodiment of value provision as a brand trust builder, best workplace attitude trainer, brand sustainability consultant, and a sustainable customer service expert. She's a certified leadership coach and mentor and fellow Chartered Institute of Mentoring and Coaching Nigeria, a member, Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, and an association of women in business and public service, WIMBIS. She is a recipient of educational degrees in journalism, public relations, and advertising, respectively. Among other professional certificates on her social impact side. She has conveyed the National Character Parenting Summit annually since 2015 as a committed to saner societies, stronger future leaders, and nation. Bosede is married with children. Ladies and gentlemen, I am delighted and honored to welcome Mrs. Bosede Olushola to our
Thank you for
stage
having
this evening.
me.
So
Thank
honored to
you.
have
Thank
you, ma.
you.
It's a
Good
pleasure
evening.
sharing this with you, ma. Good evening, ma. You're welcome.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
all right. Um, on that note, I would also love to bring on our second speaker. Wow, she is an exceptional, expert in this real estate field. And trust me, there's a whole lot that we'll be taking home tonight. There's a whole lot that we'll be learning from her tonight. Is no other person but it's barrister Itunu Oluwa. Okay, I hope I got that pronunciation right. She is a distinguished corporate lawyer with over a decade of experience in the legal and real estate sectors. She holds a Bachelor's of Law degree from the Lagos State University and Masters at Law from the prestigious Obafemi Awolowo University, Ife. She is a member of the Nigerian Bar Association and Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria. So let me just cut it short because I have a whole lot here. Wow. With her commitment to excellence and empowerment, Barrister Itunu Oluwa continues to make a lasting impact on the legal and real estate industry. So, gentlemen and ladies watching me right now, join me as I welcome our very own Barrister Itunu Oluwa Oke. You're very welcome, ma. We are so excited to have you on tonight. So say hi
Thanks for
to
having me.
our audience
Hello,
at home
everyone.
and
Thanks for
watching.
having me. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So
Mhm.
tonight it promises to be a very insightful night because there's going to be a lot that we'll be sharing here. And of course, from what I read from the profile of our guest speakers, you can see that they are people that are seasoned in their field. We have Barrister Itunu here with her years of experience. She'll be dealing with all the legal intricacies of land banking and ground real estate as groundbreaking investment. So if you are a woman here, trust me, this is worth your time. And we also have Mrs. Olushola Obasa here with us with her years of experience. With everything I read here, trust me, if you're doing anything, you should stop it and pay attention with your notebook and your notepad and pen so that you'll be taking note because this is $1 million knowledge that we'll be getting from these women tonight. So without wasting so much of our time, I have already told us the parent host of this event, Sentinel Resources and Capital Investment, a real estate and capital investment company headquartered in Lagos. So, without wasting so much of our time, let us dive into the business of the day. which is it's going to be a question and answer, you know, session, sort of. So I will be having Mrs. Olushola, Bosedi Olushola Obasa, take my first question tonight. Of course, it will be tailored towards land banking, how women can make money, how women can build financial stability through land banking, and how also we can succeed in this real estate industry, knowing that it's a male dominated industry. I mean, there's so much we can do as women. There's so much we can achieve as women in this industry, regardless of the, you know, the misconception out there. So we have our seasoned, our very own Mrs. Olushola, Bosede Olushola Obasa, to take on my first question tonight, which is, of course, that's why I didn't want to say so much, because already she's loaded with a lot of information and she's ready to dish it out to us accordingly. So my question goes to you, ma'am. This is Bosede Obasa. Why real estate? I mean, why real estate really? Because highlight the benefits of real estate and why women should invest in real estate. I mean, whenever we talk about real estate, one thing that comes to mind is building wealth, passive income, generational wealth, and all that. And most of the times, we think it's something that should be, you know, it's men that should be thinking all those passive income, building wealth, generational wealth, and the rest of them. There is this belief that, of course, women, their place is, I don't want to say in the kitchen though, but then women should just be the nurturing, you know, nature that God naturally has made them to be. So when it comes to building men, because of this belief that men are the breadwinner of the family. So I want to know why real estate, and why do you think that it is beneficial for women to be interested in this topic, real estate, or to be interested in playing in the industry, in the real estate industry? So over to you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, and thank you so much for having me. I hope I can be heard clearly.
Yes. Yes,
Thank
go
you.
ahead, ma'am. I
So,
can hear you.
so the
Yeah.
question is why real estate vis-a-vis what are the
Yeah.
benefits and why should women take an interest
Women.
in real estate?
Yeah.
I'll first like to put
Yes,
this
ma'am.
out there as a caveat that I participate in real estate as an investor. I participate in real estate as being a consultant to real estate organizations. And I also foster conversations with women on the need to understand what it is. So the caveat is around the fact that I will be sharing from experience. They might not totally be
Okay.
professional positions, but I'll be sharing from experience things that I know to have worked and things that I know to have worked both for me and for others around me. So that said, why real estate?
Yeah.
Real estate is fast becoming another financial market. To my understanding and studies, the real estate industry is
Yeah.
fast becoming another viable financial market. The same way you have banks, the same way you have insurance, the same way you have capital markets. Why did I say so? Because today, real estate is considered every time you think of a viable investment vehicle or a wealth creation vehicle, a platform where you can create wealth, where you can multiply wealth, and where you can even have generational wealth. It comes with plenty of advantages above all other
Yeah.
investment vehicles that we know. So it is said actually that if you want to get to your destination of wealth faster, you should use the real estate vehicle for obvious reasons. So coming to why women should take an interest. Women should take an interest because real estate, landed properties, units of investment in real estate and all other offers are simply investment options. They are not status symbol the way cultural or traditional life had us believe it. Reasons why a lot of women did not take an interest previously, talking about decades before now, talking about years before now. Simple, because you grew up realizing that your fathers were the ones buying land, and it was majorly seen as a status symbol in the society. So you hear of so many landlords and fewer landladies. Many of the landladies are wives, they are simply wives to the landlords. Talking about home
Yeah.
ownership now, or building. So naturally and traditionally, we all grew up knowing fathers to be the people or the persons who had houses, who built houses. And then as we grew, even for um, the few women who had houses were even seen as, to be said that, oh, if you go and hire a house for rent in a woman's house, you are in trouble. So even the few women back then that could build and build were also given some kind of stigma, meaning that
Yeah,
it made everybody feel like you were operating in an unusual setting. But that is
that's
different
right.
today, because understanding helps us see that real estate is only a vehicle of wealth creation, wealth retention, wealth multiplication, and all of that. So it's an investment instrument. It is not necessarily just status symbol. So whether you are a woman or a man, if you can buy bonds, like if you can trade in federal government bonds, if you can trade in stocks like shares and like that, stocks of it, shares of industry companies, if you can also trade in federal government treasury bills, then you can play in the real estate sector. So every woman watching, you have to decide at what level you want to come in. You want to come in as a realtor, there's room for you. Do you want to come in as buying, like you're doing land banking? You buy, you sell, you hold, you build, whatever you want to do, there's room for you. And if you want to even be a property developer, as a woman, there's
Uh-huh.
room for you. Whatever level
That's
you want to
right.
come in through, there's absolute room for you, because you must not be held back by what held our mothers back. Many of them could not, because it was seen as a man's thing. But let me tell you the truth, that cannot stand, because with more education, we realize that this isn't just about being the head of the family. This is about propagating wealth across generations. And this is about one
Wow.
of the so many investment vehicles, or financial investment vehicles that you can have, wealth creation vehicles that you can have. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much. You simply did justice to that question. I mean, look at all the punchlines that you use. Look at all the punchlines that you use. I mean, looking at how women can stand out regardless of the misconception, regardless of the bias that has been on ground, you know. I mean, there's a whole lot to learn from what Mrs. Bossede has said tonight. So, in order not to waste so much time on that, my next question is to Barrister Itunu. Barrister Itunu, are you there?
Yes, please, I am. Thank you.
All right. So, what is, this thing we call land banking? A lot of people are not very familiar with this concept. They know about, oh, let's buy land and then build. Because I am a sales consultant. When I go into the field to interact with my prospects, especially some of these are, businessmen, what you hear them say mostly is, particularly now, when you tell them, come and buy land for investment, what you hear, the ones that I bought in my village, I have not even developed them. So why do you want me to buy land? What do I need it for? Let me develop the ones that I have. And it baffles me because it's a question of, there's a lack of information here, because if they know that buying land is beyond just buying and developing, that there is so much more you can do with real estate. They will be thinking towards that perception. So on that line, I would like you to throw more light on this concept, land banking. Tell us what it is, its benefit, because the word land and bank, they are two different words now, co-joined together. I'm sure there is so much people need to know about this word, land, this concept, land banking. Tell us its benefits, how women now, because our focus is on women, how women can harness land banking for financial stability. Because that's, I mean, this whole thing, this whole empowerment thing is about finance here. So tell us how women can harness the opportunities in land banking to gain financial stability. You have the floor, ma. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, I can hear
Okay.
you. Go ahead, ma.
Thank you. I would appreciate our first speaker. She really dealt on this well, and um, their words and um, notes that women would take from what she had explained. Straight to land banking. Land banking in Nigeria means basically as a case study. Land banking involves purchasing undeveloped or underdeveloped land. Yes, for a layman, land is an open. I'll call it an open field where we walk on. So anywhere we see an open field, you know this is a landed property. So land banking is when you are making use of that landed property as a means of enterprise. Now, in summary, land banking involves purchasing undeveloped or underdeveloped land as a long term investment with the expectation that the value would increase over time due to
That's
factors
right.
like urban expansion and infrastructure development. So, over time, when you deal with land banking, over time, you know that I'm investing in something and have after a year, after 2 years, after 5 years, it appreciates and you even get additional funds aside from the
That's
funds you've
right.
invested on it. So that is
That's
what
right.
land banking is majorly. You invest in something, majorly a land, either an undeveloped property, a developed property, and the return is something that will be mind blowing. So it's a form of investment, but it's just that it's a land investment. So not to waste our time, let me just go further. Benefits of investing in land property, in land banking. The first one is to notice it appreciates in value. It appreciates well in value. Over time, it appreciates. You can get a property now worth 500,000. In the next few years, it appreciates to be nothing less than 5 million, 6 million, 10 million. It even depends on location. It develops and appreciates in some locations massively. Another point of investing and the benefit of land banking is low maintenance costs. It doesn't have you don't have to be maintaining it. Like when we have our vehicles, yes, our vehicles are they are essential things, but they're expensive to maintain. But land property is not something expensive for you to maintain. It is not too expensive for you to maintain. It's something that you can just go over to your property, look at it, see what is going on there, and come back. So it's not an expensive maintenance, it's not an expensive investment. The other one is diversification. It offers different cases of classes of diversification in investment portfolio. It reduces overall risks You don't have to be bothered that, oh, if fire catches this thing, if all of this catches this, how would this property be? You don't need to be bothered about that, especially undeveloped ones and a bare land. So the next one I would mention is it has potential for high returns. There is potential for high returns. Yes. Potential is a very, very massive investment that the high returns is something that you would be happy you invested in it. It is the same thing I advise people, I advise women, especially women. You don't have to be a man before you can invest in property. When you invest, you get your return when you want to get them. Another point we should note is that it can also be used as a collateral for loans. It's a leverage. It can be used as a collateral for loans. Yes, you have a property that worth 20 million. You want to get a loan that worth 50 million. You want to get a loan that worth 30 million. It can be used for it can be used as a collateral for loans. Now let's go straight to the legal methods of acquiring land for land banking in Nigeria. We can do direct purchase, we can do government allocation, we can do inheritance, we can do leases, we can do cooperative
Okay.
societies. Any of this,
Okay.
any of this can be a ground on acquiring property in Nigeria. Yes, direct allocation from the government. We have when you purchase from a previous owner, you can acquire a property like that. When you inherit it from your father, from your mother, from anyone, it can also you can also have access to such property. And through cooperative societies, you can have access to properties like that. Now there are some crucial
Okay.
legal documents for land acquisition, where we have there are those words that let me
Yeah.
mention. Yes, where we have deed of assignment, where we have the C of O, certificate of occupancy, the survey plan, the governor's consent, the receipt of purchase, title search report, all of these things. There are several crucial legal documents for land acquisition. Now let me go to the main center of discussion today. How can women harness this point, this investment for the for their
Okay,
personal.
man. You
Yes.
have Okay, yes. Thank you very much. I think other questions will come up where you
Okay.
will discuss some of these legal intricacies
Okay.
involved
Okay.
in
Okay.
acquiring. Just like we said, the question will be
Yes.
shuffled. The
Okay.
next question I would like to, will be directed to Mrs. Bossede.
Okay.
So we'll give you the time to talk about some of these things in details so that
Okay.
women will understand that it is not rocket science, that the
Yes.
same way men are doing it, they can also do it if they are rightly informed. All right? So
Yes.
thank you very much for dishing out, those information.
Yes,
And
please.
a few takeaway from what you have said so far. You talked about land banking, buying underdeveloped or even developed places and then allow it to appreciate over a period of time. So, when we talk about land banking, people get confused most of the times that what can you is it that you carry your land and then put it in the bank, or you carry the documents of your land and give to bank to help you keep, a lot of people have not really, but with what you have said now, I believe you have given us basic highlights on land banking. And I'm sure that our women listening, any other person listening, has taken a thing or two from this. Meanwhile, I would like to say this here at Sentinel, we also offer, we have our very special land banking package for our intending investors. So if you're a woman listening out there, in my introduction, I said that we acquire properties in very good locations that are very affordable. So no matter your financial no matter your financial background, no matter your background currently, you can start somewhere. You can. I know that with time, I mean, our guest speakers will throw more light on it, but I just want to say this. So, if you're a woman and you are considering doing this land banking, just like what our barrister has explained, I mean, we are offering that service. And in our own case, we are even doing advanced land banking, a situation whereby we buy for maybe 10 years and you will be making massive return on investment. And it will shock you to know that if you buy any of our location, for instance, you're buying a location worth 3 million naira, we'll just give you 10 years. By the time you buy and flip in 10 years, it will amaze you to know that you'll be making up to 50 million naira. I am not even exaggerating on that. So wherever you are and you're contemplating on land banking, I'm sure our barrister will throw more light on that as we proceed on this discourse. So meanwhile, my next question is directed to Mrs. Bosede Olushola Obasa. So now, what are some of the biggest misconceptions women face in the real estate industry? Now I want you to tell us the misconceptions. There's I don't know whether it was last month, there was this um period that video was trending. I reached out to someone, and the person was like, oh, you do real estate. I told him I'm a real estate consultant. He was like, I hope you are not one of those girls that go about it. I say, forget about whatever you heard online. Real estate is a very reputable. If you're doing real estate as a woman, it's a very reputable. 95% of women in real estate are sleeping around and they are before they get deals. So with these misconceptions, please ma, you can also share some of the other misconceptions that women have concerning real estate, so that we'll expose these things and also sensitize our women that are watching and women that will still come across this video. You have the floor, ma. Thank you.
Okay, thank you again for having me. I'll start by saying that what you said about the video, about stereotypes, about claims that certain people are not deserving of getting a deal or closing a deal or making sales without sleeping around, it's not unique to real estate. I trained as a journalist and I worked as a journalist for 14 years actively, and it's a male dominated sector. No longer so now. There are more women coming to journalism now, but it used to be very, very much male dominated because of the demand of the job. It's a job that gives you when to resume, but you might not know when you will close from work. Again, depending on what side of the value chain you find yourself playing out. So the first point I want to make is that it's not unique to real estate, women in real estate. People say that, oh, you are sleeping around to get things done. It's not unique to real estate. Every time people see you do something they thought you cannot do easily, they try to create a mystery around it. That said, I am not saying that there aren't women that might be doing that. So we must put those caveats out there. It's possible because, okay, let's say for instance, some years ago in banking, whenever they wanted to hire a salesperson, a sales executive in the banking industry, you hear things like must be fair complexion, this footer, this slim, because there was a perception that you needed to look attractive to be able to attract the kind of high end or high paying or high ticket clients that your company wants you to get. Many of the people who were in banking as salespeople, major salespeople, it's possible that some of them went down with men to get it done. Having said that, I will also put out here that I was a journalist for 14 years. I never had to do anything with anyone to get my job done. And I know people who are realtors who have never had to do anything with anyone to get the big ticket sales they got. It is not general and it is not unique to real estate. It's as everywhere women are pushing the frontiers, they build a stereotype around it. That's because some women might be going wrong, but not all the women are going wrong. Maybe majority aren't.
That's
I'm glad to say here that from training for real estate companies and consulting for them, I'm always amazed to see that when it's time for them to reward high performing realtors. Let's take realtors for example. It will shock you that women are usually carrying the day. They are usually the first, the second, the third. That's because there are some things that are unique to women that can help and aid sales naturally without you having to do anything wrong. I was in Port Harcourt a few days ago over the weekend and I was training for a real estate company. And a similar question came up that look, men are making passes at us. It is not new. Men will make passes at you. It's about you knowing your audience. It's about you understanding your game. It's about you knowing what you want to achieve. And it's about you setting your game plan in a way that you can achieve it. So for instance, the truth is that a woman is created attractive by God. No
that's right.
apologies. Women are created to be attractive. It's one of our soft advantages that we have. So it's just about you knowing how to positively deploy it and not negatively. So if someone says you're attractive, no apologies for being attractive, for goodness sakes, because it's supposed to be your entry point. So if you understand being attractive very well, you know that it grants you access. The fact that women are also soft spoken or soft generally also grants access. So I'm talking about sales psychology generally. In sales psychology, including what happens in real estate, access is key. And the first few things that grant access is your presentation, your outlook. If you do not look like the thing you are selling, if you do not look like you are worth the money that we are going to give to you, how can you be selling something that is in millions and billions and you are wearing tattered clothes around? It does not tally. So yes, women, feel
Yeah.
free to look good. Feel free to be at your best outlook, but have values. Have
Hmm.
values. If I come here and I just throw it away and say there is nobody that is doing it, we'll be lying to ourselves. There are women who may be going wrong, but there are women who are also standing on strong personal values, who understand that if my HQ, there's this woman that talks about HQ on social media. I think Real Worry Pikin or something like that. She's always saying everything is about HQ. So check your HQ. Every woman should be beauty plus brains. If you're going to do well in any sector, don't just bring beauty to the table. You might get flawed easily, but bring brains too, and then have personal values. One of the major things I teach is how people can have personal values. So what is too much for me to do to get a sale? Decide it as you are going. Be a games master at what you're doing. Be able to know what you cannot do. And then there are a few things that you must check out for. Someone is asking for a meeting with you. Build a team and let there be men on your team. So if you need to meet someone at a place that you are not too sure about, go with someone. I am here today. There have been an interviewee that asked me to come and meet him at a club. The funny thing about that club is that it's just opposite my father-in-law's street. But I was heavily pregnant that day. I mean, just that period. So I said to myself jokingly that, well, it's going to be difficult for anybody to think that I'm going into this club to do any rubbish. Because I can, a heavily pregnant journalist like me, be going in there to do rubbish with anybody. I'm just saying that our jobs will put us in those spaces. But let your personal value decide what you can do and what you cannot do. If you don't decide it before the day that you are tempted, it will be too late to decide on the spot. So I'm speaking to
Right.
women who are in real estate. Whether you are a realtor, it will happen. People will ask you out. People will call those, I mean, they'll throw those things at you. Yes. Because you have built it, and no apologies for it. Number two, even if you're a property developer, there will be high ticket things you want to do. And the people who decide the things might even throw it at you. So whatever you do, and then it is not even peculiar to real estate. So I'm saying that let your values, the things you value, the things you cannot trade off, let them make the decisions for you at those times. The beautiful thing about values is that they help us take decisions on the go. So to wrap this up, not
Yeah.
everybody who is making it big in sales is going down with any man. Not everybody who is doing great at sales or real estate in any of the value chain is doing rubbish with any man. There are people who are working clean, guided by their values. I will not finish this without telling you that when you work with values, there are some sales you will need to look away from. You will need to walk away from some
Mm.
if the price is too high. Price. There's a price. When they say everybody has got a price, when the price becomes you sharing your body with another
I
person, and
get
you're a
that.
married woman, or you're about to get married, or you're even single, how many people do you want to sleep with to win all the sales that you want to win? So let's make up our minds from setting out. Anyone who's inside of it, you don't have to do it. But I can tell you boldly that I know ladies rubbish to anybody. And they are making it
Thank
bigger
you.
also. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, session. This is fantastic. And I'm sure that our women that are listening, they now know that, of course, just like you said, I mean, we are not denying the fact that there are women who are not doing these things. But that does not mean that any woman who is succeeding in the real estate industry is doing rubbish, just like Mrs. Obasa said. So thank you very much. And my take home from what you have, everything you have said so far is that as a woman in this industry, no matter the capacity that you're playing in, feel free to look good because this industry is about your perceived value. Nobody is seeing you carrying land
Yeah.
on your head. Nobody is seeing you carrying your product on your head, but it is what you look like that will now that people will now perceive to know the value of what you're selling. So just like Mrs. Obasa rightly said, that you should feel free to look good but still have values. Lack of value is the problem, is the caveat here. Lack of value. And I'm sure that with everything you've said, that people listening, they have taken a thing or two from it. Thank you once again, Ma. I really appreciate everything you've shared.
Thank you.
All of these intricacies, the whole process, getting lawyer, they don't want to be defrauded, the fear and all that. Land is actually a big deal. I mean, the place where I'm coming from in the eastern part of Nigeria, I mean, people actually kill people for land.
Ah.
People, I mean, for real, people kill people. You see family years in dispute for land. So, and I can remember a recent scenario that happened during one of our field, our market storming. Um, a, I introduced my product to one of my prospective, said, but in Nigeria, how can a woman be selling land in Nigeria? That thing he said actually got me differently. And I'm wondering, is it a crime for a woman to sell land? Because, traditionally it is men. Even in the East, I don't know about some other places, in the East, a woman does not have a say when it comes to land matters. A woman cannot say that, okay, because my father owns several plots of land, a married woman, you are now married. Even if you're not married, you don't have a share in that land. So there's a lot that is making women develop cold feet, that is making them drag their feet when it comes to real estate. They'll say, my husband should go and know. So that's one of the reasons why we are having this virtual event, to begin to correct that narrative, to change that misconception. So on that note, Ma, I would like you to tell us, so that people will know that it is not a big deal. It's actually not a big deal. The different legal methods of acquiring land for land banking. Let us know if it is something that is so tedious, or if it is something that is just a question of having the right information and working with the right companies, such as Sentinel, of course. I mean, go ahead, you have the floor, ma.
Okay, thank you so much. Yes, please, no one is restricted from investing in real estate. No woman is restricted from investing. Invest in real estate. I advise women. I spearhead it for women to invest in real estate. So before I explain the legal method of acquiring land for land banking in Nigeria, different methods. I forgot to mention something in the previous note. Women can get to have financial stability in land banking when they have access to funds. It is duly to note, when they have access to funds, when they have community support, when you engage women in investment, when they have community support. Not that women do not have any support anywhere and you are telling them to invest. They must get moral support. Everyone around them must support them, even community support. It gingers them to invest in land banking. So straight to the legal methods of acquiring landed properties or acquiring land for land banking in Nigeria. The first one we have is direct purchase. When you purchase the landed property directly from the owner, directly from the owner, you acquire that property and it becomes yours. That is one of the ways a woman can acquire or a woman can invest in land banking. The second point is government allocation. When you achieve the you having the property via government acquisition, where government allocation. There are several allocations government do in several parts of Nigeria. We have in FCT, we have in Lagos, we have in several states. Each state have their way of government releasing some properties to the public, invest in it, pay some amount. When you acquire the property, you are now told to pay some amount of money. Like there's some ones that they do in Ibadan, in Oyo State, where you buy the property, you pay an initial amount, then afterwards you pay for the remaining parts, or maybe you spread it over years. So there are ways you can acquire land and property and invest in land banking when you acquire it via government acquisition. So another way of acquisition of acquiring land for land banking is via inheritance, where you get the property via inheritance. Either you inherited it from your father. Miss Vivian mentioned something about the aside the other time when she was talking about it. That is when all these fights come about. That is when there are a lot of disputes, because inherited property brings a lot of disputes. That is when you have your inheritance as a property, do the due diligence on it and do the rightful documentation on it, if it's inherited from your parents. So another one is leases. Long term leases can make you the owner of a property. Long term leases. And another one for us to note, a way of acquiring land for land banking, is through cooperative societies. When you join cooperative societies, you guys contribute money together. Okay, this amount of money, they use it in buying a big land mass. So after they purchase the land mass, they share the properties, they share the land mass into segments. Okay, this particular 1 acre, we use it for a mall. This particular one plot, we share it for our members. So you can acquire properties via that avenue. So I mentioned few points of ways women, most especially, I'm so sorry that I'm mentioning women, because majorly it's about women empowerment. Women, most especially, can invest in land banking via these avenues. You can invest in land banking when you acquire it from the owner, when you acquire it from the government, when you acquire it via inheritance, when you acquire it via cooperative society. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you very much, Ma. Thank you very much, Ma, for that contribution. And on that note, I would also want to inform everyone watching us that here at Sentinel, one of our major products here is, like I said in my introduction, is DOC Gardens, Destination of Choice Gardens, and which is our vision to become the destination of choice in the whole of Africa, providing you with informed and profitable real estate. So we have 22 locations right now, um, across 6 major states in Nigeria. And like I said, just like Barrister started with telling us, you can buy underdeveloped, you can buy developed properties. Here we have affordable properties that you can buy, and we do the land banking and flipping thing for you and help you multiply your money, so that this financial stability that we are clamoring for, that women should actually begin to embrace. Part of what can help you attain that is through land banking, and these are one of our core services here in Sentinel. Tea Gardens too is our flagship product. So for every woman watching, you can as well acquire any of our properties, start your land banking journey. And again, more importantly, you don't need, because the way we are saying millions now, some people will say, I never see food chop now, where I wan see 3 million naira. Now the good thing is that you have friends, you can pool funds together with your friends. Crowdfunding. Women should not only have gossip partners. Yes, women should have business partners. When you are sitting with your friends, what do you discuss? Latest wig, latest bag, latest designer? No, we should discuss business things. That's why it's looking like men are ahead of us. Because when you see men, they are out there in the bar drinking, it's business. They are connecting. Men are supporting men. But women, when we sit, I'm not saying all women though, I'm trying to be very objective. So, but please, women, you don't need to have you 5 friends can come, contribute 500,000. Start, buy any of our DOC gardens. Start your land banking journey. Before you know it, your 3 million naira, like I said, if you flip it in 2 years, for every 2 years for 10 years, trust me, you will be making well above 50 million naira. And in most cases, we will even sell on promo price, because we are, I mean, Sentinel, by God's grace, just turned 7 last week. So there's a promo. Our self scaling off our scaling up offer is running right now. So you can buy at a very discounted price. which means you're not even buying the official price. And then you and your friends can begin your land banking journey, and it makes it easier for you. So this is an opportunity of me inviting you, because most of the time, some of these, like what our barrister said, some of these other processes, they are good. But when you're partnering with a company that is reliable, our core values in business, we guarantee you security, we guarantee you stability, we guarantee you service, we guarantee you solution, sincerity. All of these things are what we are guaranteeing you, that when you partner with us, you will have no, she said, it's cost effective. So all of these things are, when you partner with us, buy any of our DOC gardens, start your land banking journey, and in few years to come, you will be smiling home with millions. So that is that for that. Thank you very much, Ma, for sharing this wonderful, ideas with us. And now on to the next question, to Mrs. Obasa. We have here the strategies. So far, we have talked about land banking. So, Ma, tell us, what strategies can women use to build trust and credibility with their clients? Now, we are talking about women as real estate professionals, women as realtors, women as even investors too, women as developers. No matter the category that you're playing in the real estate industry, what strategies can women use to build trust? I read the book that you wrote on regaining your trust capital or something. I mean, I learned a lot from that book. As a matter of fact, I've read I mean, anytime I feel, oh, there's something I didn't do well, because I'm someone that go out, I'm more of a sales consultant that is always in the field. So I get hands-on experience when I go out there and I see the way and I interact with my prospects. I mean, that book has been very helpful, and I want to say thank you very much, Ma, for, I mean, very small book, but it is
Thank you.
loaded with timeless knowledge. So please, on that note, I would like you to tell us how the strategies that we can use as realtors, as investors, as developers, strategies that we can use to build trust and credibility with our clients, especially in this male-dominated field. Thank you, Ma. You have the floor, Ma.
Okay, thank you. I don't know if I may quickly, yes, I don't know if I may quickly add my voice to the last question by Mrs. Um, okay, or
Go
Mrs.
ahead,
Okay,
Ma.
sorry.
Okay.
So, I did a research some years ago in 2020 during COVID, and then I found out that women are beginning to earn high, like earn significantly well. The percentage might still not be as much as we want. I'm just providing the flip side of what she said about support, funding, crowdfunding, and the rest for women who want to play in this sector. And what I want to add is that because of the education that the girl child has now received and started to receive better, they are earning better, frontlining a lot of sectors, and making a little more cool cash than ever, particularly those of them who dare to shoot for the stars. There's a significant rise in the earning power of women, maybe not generally, but a percentage that is considerable, maybe safely some 15 thereabout percent of the entire, let's say, that there are about 50% men, 50% women. So of the 50% women that we have to market real estate to in Nigeria and the world, there are up to 15% of them currently who can afford it. So I'm lending my voice to the fact that there are a number of women that affordability is not a problem for. It will shock you to know that. It will shock you to know that there are a number of women that affordability is not a problem, particularly when you now give them the um, installment payment arrangement. A lot of women can afford it, but mindset and priorities. So the mindset is affecting our priority, and I'll explain quickly before I talk about trust and all that. Majority women, I'll give myself an example. While I was working as a journalist, I heard about offers of lands that were being sold to majority of people, like a group sale of land. I heard about it, but guess what? I never in my wildest imagination imagined that I would buy land before I got married. This ideology, this mindset is one that all women must begin to attack in the minds of their children as they are raising them. The thing has been
That's
there for generations. Something that says that if you have land before you marry, you have too much money, no man will marry you. We need to reorientate our girls that today coming to the table with plenty is a plus for you. You can go
that's
ahead and be everything you want to be as a girl child. Because
and
now
more.
that the result of educate girl child, all those advocacy is beginning to produce results. Look around you today and see how greatly girls are doing. See how greatly women are doing. But it will
Yes.
shock you to know that when you look at your clientele base as a real estate company, you will find fewer women on your list. You will find more men, even though the women now have the money. Question: why are they not buying? Number one is mindset, African mindset. For single girls who are still making a whole lot of money right now, they are not yet taking care of children. They are not yet assisting any man to put 50-50 on the table. They still are not buying. Why are those girls who can afford 350, 500, almost a million here, why don't they have a land? Question: mindset.
Oh,
If I buy the land now, whose name will be on it? Is it going to be joint when I get married? Is it going to be, won't my husband to be think that I have too much to be a wife? Stereotypes, mindsets, militating against the progress of women. While as far as real estate is concerned, a number of women can afford it, but they still will not buy because they think that it is going to restrict them in terms of who the society sees them as. That happened to me, so I can tell from a practical example and from research that a number of women who can afford are still not buying. So we need to educate them that it is not a status symbol, it is an investment vehicle. The same way you can buy shares, the same way you can buy treasury bills, you can have land. You can use land as banking facility for yourself. So that said, I wanted to just add the fact that women are beginning to earn well oh, and it will get better. So any real estate company that is not looking in the way of women can only do 50% of what is possible. Because again, it shocked me to find out in research that Nigeria currently has almost a 50-50 um, population of men and women. Men are currently 51 point something and women are around 49 or thereabout. Anyway, it's a 51 versus 49%. Is that not about 50-50? So if all the people who are buying from you are still men, you still have a good number of people you have not reached. So I encourage real estate companies to generate creative ideas that can bring women in to the brackets. Education is one part of it. Starting them out early as girls with better reorientation is another. So that as they earn their money, they won't use everything on shoes and bags. Do you know there are some women who will not even own a car? I mean, that is changing now. But the land loan is a very serious one. It is very, very traditional and cultural. It is no longer so. It is no longer so. And the other part of it is how do you build trust? in your client, if you're a realtor in your client, whatever other things you do. Simple. I will get back again to values. When you were talking, Vivian, you were assuring the people who were listening to you that here at Sentinel, we have core values. The core values are things that we are sworn to. When you have core values and you practice what makes people believe it, they trust you. Basic things, when you make promises around sales or around anything in real estate, fulfill it. Because see, I also did a research and found out that of all the sectors in the Nigerian economy where trust can be an issue, real estate ranks top 3. Why? Because from time immemorial, people have been duped, reduped, and triple duped in real estate from the times of Omonile. So why do you think that people do the PR of saying, oh, we're a real estate corporate company, there is no Omonile problem? It's because Omonile was an issue, and it was a trust issue. Like the barrister was saying, she said that one of the ways you can get it is through inheritance, but that it can be contentious. Land has always been contentious. So if you're coming into real estate and you don't have trust, you don't have future in that sector. You can deceive some people sometimes, but you can't deceive everybody all the time. So if you deceive some and you make some money, you will have to run away, as the people who are cheating people are doing. If you want to stay for the long haul, trust is a must. And the major hallmark of trust is keep your promise, ensure that you are excellent at what you're doing, and ensure that you don't toy with anything that can create mistrust. Now, 2 things I told them in Port Harcourt that can remove trust easily. When you under communicate, you can create problem, because real estate is an information sensitive industry. I told you that it's going into a financial market already. It is information sensitive. So when I'm watching the news, for instance, now, and they say 500 buildings have been destroyed around so and so area, and God forbid your company has okay, they say 500 units of housing has been destroyed through a major rancor or upheaval that happened, and then the entire place has been cordoned off. Nobody can go in, nobody can come out. And then one of your clients hears the news in the evening, because you also have an estate close to that area. God forbid it will not be your own estate. And then the next thing, the client begins to call everybody possible, from the realtor that sold through the bought to the company that owns it, begin to call everybody's number. That's how financial markets are. They are information sensitive. So trust can grow or deplete based on the quality of information you're sharing. If you're a realtor, you should prioritize this. If you're a property developer, you should prioritize this. No matter what you do in real estate, you should prioritize information dissemination. Because take for instance, if the capital market suddenly says, oh, ABC company has just suffered, what can I say now? Something negative, maybe something happened and there's problem in the board and all, and suddenly they say, Amcom is taking over this bank. What begins to happen immediately to everyone who has any shishi in that bank is the fact that information sensitivity. So trust is not just a word to just throw around. When it comes to real estate, you must understand that it rides on keeping your promise. Number 2, communicating and giving information as and when due. And when there is an information that is out there that you need to clarify, let your PR be top notch. Clarify on the go. Reach out to every stakeholder that you need to talk to. Don't leave things lying low, because they could blow up. Finally, the sensitivity of information in the real estate sector, because there has always been huge trust deficit. Don't forget, the issue is not that your own company is a liar. The issue is that there are lying companies in real estate. So whatever is happening, whatever those problems those ones are causing, is going to rub off on you until you come clean and wash yourself clean. Otherwise, whatever is happening in ABC You are XYZ company. ABC has just stolen people's money and left the country. They begin to call every rector a liar. You people are thieves. Are you people not thieves? You people are thieves. They begin to say that. Why? Because trust is depleted. So it's information sensitive, and everybody gets to share the burden of everybody in real estate. So you must keep your gates well, no matter what point in the value chain you're playing. Trust is great. It's very important. The industry is becoming more financial wealth inclined than ever. It is high capital intensive. You cannot toy with trust, because a lot of people, all their entire savings in the world that they put together to buy that land from you. So when anything seems not to look like the way it should be, their trust, their doubt is immediately triggered. So you have to look out for that consistently.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing that insightful, for sharing that with us. I really appreciate that. And this is for our, intending realtors out there. You are going to hear a lot of stories. If you really want to do this business and succeed, you have to, just like you said, carve a niche for yourself and set yourself apart. Those core values that you know that will make you stand out, ensure you embrace them to the letter. So now I can see that we are already running out of time.
Yeah.
This event is actually scheduled for an hour, and we haven't even done half of what. Yes, yes. So I'm promising that we'll do this again. We will have to do this again because there's a lot that needs to be done. A lot needs to be done out there to sensitize women, so that we start. Okay, Ntunu. So what advice can you offer women
Okay.
on conducting due diligence and verifying land titles before entering into a land banking transaction? I hope you get that question.
Yeah.
The
What?
advice that you have for women.
Okay.
Okay,
Please, can you recap what
go ahead.
advice? Yes, please. Okay.
Yes, what advice can you offer women on conducting due diligence and verifying land title before you embark on any land banking transaction?
Yes. Thank you so much.
Is that clear, ma?
Very well. Very clear. Thank you so much. The first point I would mention is you have to seek consultation. I would advise women that are interested in investing in land banking. The first point that is duly to note is to seek legal consultation. You can't just invest in properties without seeking the required consultation. And our host is one of the companies I would advise people and women especially to invest in, because I know they have legal teams on ground that would attend to their need even before they invest. So that is one thing for them to note, is that they must seek legal consultation before investing in land banking. The second point, which is duly to note, is the property you intend investing in, is it clear from all interference? Now, interference in the sense that is it free from government acquisition? Is it free from road mapping? Is it free from meddlesome interlopers that just come to the property and just say, "Oh, this is my property. I bought it from this man several years ago." All of those must be duly noted before investing in land banking. A woman must
Oh,
conduct due diligence in the property before investing. Another point we should note is this: Survey plan verification. Yes, survey plan verification is a plan that shows the size, the a pictorial view of the property, not a property. Even if it is built, it doesn't show the building. It only shows the size of the land. It shows the width, the length. It shows if there is any drainage. It shows everything. So is the property adhering to how would I put it, survey plan rules and regulations. But all of that cannot be done single-handedly by a woman. She must have done a consultation, and while doing the consultation you must meet those that matter, that would give you good advice in doing all of this. Now if you go to real estate
Yeah.
company, like one of our hosts is a real estate company, they would give you the information you need to know on the property. They would give you the information you need to know on the environment. They will give you the information you need to know if it violates survey plan rules and regulation, if it violates government acquisition, if it violates all of this. They would give you required information you need to know before investing in it. Another point we should note is this: the woman must be ready to inspect. You must do thorough inspection. I advise people, the first thing you will do when you want to invest, I advise women and I advise people generally, the first thing you should do when you want to invest in property, aside from hearing about the property, have you been to the property? Do you know how the property looks like? Are you comfortable with the road network? Are you comfortable with the environment? Is it something worth saying that okay, later on this place will develop and it would be a plus on me because I've invested in this? So inspection is a crucial point for for investing in land banking. In conclusion, the woman must also verify if the person is buying from a single person or is buying from a company. You must be sure of the company's compliance with town planning rules, with several government rules and regulations. If you are buying from the company, if you are buying from an individual, you must verify the individual's identity. You must verify the individual's identity. You must verify the information you received about the person. So with all these points that I've mentioned, legal consultation, several points, you will be able to ascertain that okay, this property is free and is free from any encumbrance. Okay, something I can invest in and is a property that I can say, okay, this is mine, and I would be able to say it boldly that as a woman, I invested in this, and the turnover will be very massive on me. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing this with us. That is a very insightful and an impactful one as well. So, on that note, I would like to use this opportunity to, of course, just like our barrister recommended, that you should ensure that, or that you should be sure that you're either buying from an individual or a company. So, on that note, I would also like to inform everyone watching that Sentinel is in the business of land banking, like I said earlier, and we are into the advanced level, the land banking and the flipping that I talked about earlier. And we also do our due diligence when we are acquiring our properties, everything that is required to save our prospective clients from going through the stress of, going through some of the things that barrister mentioned. So on that note, we are coming to a close of this our wonderful session. Thank you very much, our wonderful host, our wonderful guest, Mrs. Bosede Olushola Obasa. Thank you for joining us tonight and our barrister Ituku Oluwa, okay? I
Thank you
am
so
so
much.
grateful that you honored this invitation. Thank you everyone for your time tonight, and I hope that this is worth your time. Do have a very good night's rest, and thank you all once again.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you. Nice having you here.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
One, bye.
One. Bye. Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right. Thank
Bye.
you.